In the previous lesson, we introduced you to media queries. So I'm going to show you what else we can do with our media queries. So what I want to do, just going back into our CSS or our HTML, and let's take a look at how our menu is structured. So we've got our class nav, and it's being presented within this type of function where we've got an unordered list and list items. So what I actually want to do is I want to hide the class nav. So I want to do display none, and I want to move my media items or the unordered list down. So I want to text align it 100%. So I'll show you what happens when I add this in. So first thing that I want it to do is do nav, and we'll do display none. So see that once it shrinks down to a certain point, we're display none, so we're hiding that navigation menu, and we're going to rely on that image to take care of that. The thing I do want to still take care of, so we've got our menu, and I want to float it to the right because I don't want it sitting there in the way. So I want to float that one off to the right, and actually it's gone off way over to the side, so maybe I want to add in some margins as well. So I'm going to do margin right to bring it back in to the visible area, and I want to make it bigger, so I'm going to adjust the font size. So maybe take a font size, a really big font size, to maybe 36 or something like that. And maybe I want to move it down from the top a little bit because I don't want it sitting right at the top there. So maybe just move it down 5 pixels from the top. And I also want to update the cursor. So this is, we can, in CSS, we can update what the cursor looks like whenever we go on top of it. So you can see here that brackets presents with a bunch of options. So the one that I want to choose is I want it to be a pointer. So let's refresh that, and now whenever I go over that, so now we've got the pointer. So this indicates that this is a clickable link. So this is the pointer where we've got that hand, and we can see that whenever we've got links that we get this pointer value. So that's all built in to our mini menu there, and now it's being presented more like a mini menu and a visible menu. So let's go back into our media query and show you how we can present the menu items. So we want this to be clicked, and we want to add some functionality, and we're going to do that adding in some JavaScript, some jQuery, whenever we add in that as a clickable item. So we're going to take care of all of that with JavaScript. And if you're not familiar with JavaScript or jQuery, it's going to be really straightforward. I'm not going to get too deep into it. It's just going to provide us a capability of adding event listeners. So let's finish this one off. So we've set the navigation to be to display none. One of the other things we need to do is set the width of it. But let's take a look at the nav unordered list and list items, and setting a width of it to 100%. And we're going to align that text, so text align to center, so that the text is aligned to center. So maybe right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove out that display none so we can actually see our menu. So this is where our menu is going to show up. So this is nice and neatly showing up exactly where we need it to. So the idea here is going to be that whenever I click this, that we're going to be presented with this navigation menu. So we want to also update our nav to display at width 100%. So that takes up all the available space. So the idea is we click the button, it shows up, this menu shows up, and yes, the menu is actually on top of the content, and we actually want to present it this way because we don't want the content shifting down and up with the menu as we open and close the menu. And then the idea here is going to be for mobile users that they can click one of these menu items and they can be brought to that page, and then this menu will eventually close as well. And this again is going to be done in JavaScript. So now we are ready to complete our project. We're going to jump into the JavaScript in the upcoming lesson, and we're going to control the viewing of the menu item. So let's just make sure quickly that everything is working as needed. So we see that whenever we get to the larger size, we're able to click down and we're able to see all of our content here that's presented within the website. And whenever we shrink it down, we're presented now with this menu. That's a clickable menu, or will be a clickable menu, and it's going to present our content in a more usable format for mobile screens. So that's coming up in the next set of lessons.